Another day, another opportunity to take over some dollars. But this time we are talking about silver, which if you've been on my channel, you know I stand by this. Wallstreetbets on Reddit is at it again. This time we are trying to attack the precious metals because precious metals have been extremely manipulated. And it's time that, we take some of that power back. So let's talk about the silver squeeze. Explain simply, what is SLV? What can you do to get in on these gains? And what is going on? Because a lot of people do not know about precious metals. So I will be more than happy to explain that to you. So please be sure to keep it locked for all that and more. It's Crystal with the Cash Compass. All right, welcome back. I am here to teach you all the things that you should have learned in school about money, but for whatever reason, they forgot to mention it. If you love all things personal finance, investing, economics, and evidently sticking it to the big dogs, you'll want to be subscribed. You'll want to hit that bell because we talk about that all the time. Let's get into it. All right, I know a lot of people are super new to the whole precious metals space because we are not taught that in schools and we consider it an old relic. I was super excited when I saw all the hype around silver because this is a great opportunity to get more eyes onto the precious metals. So for those who do not have any clue what is going on, I do want to catch you guys up on what is happening. That way we have like a general understanding before I get into the specifics of what is going on right now and the action that you guys can take to make bank. All right, so for those who do not know, there is physical metals and then there are contracts, okay? You'll typically hear something called a spot price. That is for the contracted metals like the silver and gold. SLV is one of those contract precious metals, right? It's not an actual physical metal. SLV is the ticker. It is an ETF. So if you're wondering what SLV is, it is an ETF that holds silver for investors, okay? Typically there's a custodian involved. So for example, JP Morgan would be the one kind of holding these precious metals, is silver, and you're just exchanging the contracts. Physical gold is something separate, okay? You will not be able to go into a local coin shop or to go onto AppMex or any of these, websites where they sell precious metals and get spot price, okay? If you do, right? If you are able to go on one of these websites and get spot price, call me. Typically, you're going to pay a premium, so you will not get the spot price, okay? You'll have to pay somewhere above the spot price. Also, if you go to sell, you'll probably have to sell somewhere below the spot price. That is just how things work. So to a certain extent, the contract price does kind of determine where the physical price goes. However, there can and there has been divergence plenty of times. Last year, 2020, okay? The premiums were ridiculous. Maybe at one time you could probably buy silver for like maybe $1 over spot. Then it became $4, $10 at one point over spot. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily always equal. If there's more fear in the market, you will be paying more than what you see on spot price for your physical metals if you actually want to get actual delivery to you. Okay, so what are the people over on Wallstreetbets trying to do with respect to SLV, right? What is this whole squeeze we're talking about? Because last time I checked, when I was squeezing, it was for lemonade. So what is going on right now is that they want to attack the big dog that is JP Morgan. If you did not know, JP Morgan has been caught time after time after time after time manipulating the precious metals market in their favor, of course. And what happens to them? They get a fine here or there. It's never any real consequences. So why stop? Maybe they made like $1 billion and the fine is $1 million. Big whoop. For me, that's a little bit, it's a fee. It's an expense. All right. If I'm going to make $1 billion and all I get is $1 million fine, I'm with it. All right. So they are huge manipulators of this. And the people over there on Wallstreetbets, they want a piece of the action, right? So what they're suggesting, what they're proposing is to purchase SLV or to purchase PSLV, and then demand physical delivery. Because like I told you guys in the beginning, you don't get actual physical delivery of these. If you buy a share of SLV, they're not going to deliver you anything, right? So what this is going to do is really keep JP Morgan and all those other companies in a lot of trouble, because with these contracts, when you're buying like a share of SLV, a lot of times, and they say themselves, I'll kind of put a screenshot of the perspective of SLV, they don't always have all of the silver that they're selling, okay? It says a bulk. That would mean to me the majority. That could be 51%, right? I don't necessarily know. I haven't looked through their 10K or anything like that. But basically, the majority, right, a good amount of it is in silver, but not everything, okay? There's other assets that they're also using to back it, and those assets can also be imaginary made up contracts that don't actually exist, right? So a portion of it is actual physical silver you can touch, and the other portion is God knows what. So if they go in there and they're buying up SLV and they are demanding physical delivery, that'll put these big dogs in a bind because they will not be able to deliver all of that, and that will be extremely expensive for them, especially if people are buying the physical too, because they're trying to go buy the physical, but the physical is getting bought up by everybody else because everybody's on this whole financial wave. A lot of people online are saying that silver can go as high as $1,000. That is the inflation adjusted price, okay? And for context, silver was at $27. So I mean, that's a large potential. And of course, I'm not saying it's going to happen for sure or not. Who really knows? Honestly, when you're not the one making the rules can always change. And I'm going to get into that in a moment. But the idea is putting JP Morgan and those people in a certain bind to where they will not be able to produce that. And that could obviously have a huge effect on JP Morgan. Now, do I think they're going to take down the bank? Absolutely not. We were already told in 2008 what the deal is, okay? There's certain institutions that are too big to fail. This is why I always say on my channel, I think the corporations, like these big corporations and these banks, they're the ones really running things. Political, politics is just kind of like a show to me, but this is a whole different topic. These banks, they're too big to fail. We saw it in 2008 and it hasn't gotten any better. I mean, if anything, they're even bigger and they can't fail even more. That would have a cascading effect on the economy. I don't know that we would want them to fail in that way because that would be tied to a lot of jobs. They can get bail-ins and bail-outs. If they have bail-outs, it's going to affect everybody in the country because we're using our tax dollars to help them get out of this bind. And if it's a bail-in and you bank with Chase, you about to be out of luck, okay? And I do have a video about bail-in laws if you want to check that out for more context, because I don't want to clog this video up with all these, small details. But will this work, and how can you get in on those gains? Because if it can shoot up to 1,000, number one, it wouldn't be an overnight thing like GameStop. At least I don't think so. Of course, this market has been surprising everybody. I don't think it would be an overnight thing. It might take a couple of months to actually materialize, but that's a pretty good gain that you can get, right? But as far as my thoughts on are we going to actually obtain this, my answer, or my first initial guess, is no. These are the market makers. These people are super educated. And I mean, for all we know, it could be people, those big companies on Reddit, kind of trolling us, telling us what to do. And the next thing you know, they're the ones coming out with all the money, right? So I think they tend to be a step ahead. And if they are behind, they get caught up real quickly, okay? We saw that literally last week, okay? Robinhood was like, nah, you guys are not going to be buying anything, right? So would that happen in this situation too? Yes, it definitely can. It has happened before. I'm going to put a little screenshot here. They're going to win, okay? They changed the rules to benefit them. I'm not saying that you can't get in and get some gains before the rules are actually changed, but with all the hype that went on with the whole GameStop and AMC thing last week, oh my God, I wouldn't be surprised if they're already trying to be more preemptive and trying to get things done before this hype. However, the hype is already here, okay? I literally this morning was on a few different websites trying to buy silver. No silver. No silver. No silver. You cannot buy silver until 6 p.m. I'm recording this on Sunday, so I'm posting this probably Monday. So we'll see what happens. I'm really excited. But basically, you can't even buy silver until 6 p.m. today. So I put my alarm on. I will be trying to get some more silver. I personally believe in silver. If you guys have been on this channel, you know that. If you haven't, go ahead and check this video out. I talk all about gold and silver and get really into the nitty-gritty about that being a true source of money. That's our real money. These paper dollars are BS, okay? So can you get into SLV or PSLV and make a profit? Potentially. There's a lot of talk, there's a lot of, chatter going on, so I would not be surprised to see a gap up in the price, especially with physical too. Physical silver closed at 27. I would not be surprised if I go back on there at 6 o'clock today and it's in the 30s.
This is Crystal from the future, and it was definitely over $40.
I'm almost sure it will be in the 30s because there's so much hype around it, okay? On top of that, these companies have a crap ton of lawyers with all their professional jargon, okay? They can write their way out of a lot. They know how to finesse that English language, okay? So you might think you're going to go ahead and get some physical silver, but you actually won't. They can just kind of say, listen, whatever the spot price is, we're going to give you that in dollars, which is fiat, which is BS, right? So we can try to get some gains out, but will we completely game the system? I don't think so. And I also think that if we were to take over the system, there would be a lot of bloodshed. It would be a little bit difficult. I'm not saying that I'm not here for that, but I do think that the repercussions would be pretty great. So we have to be a little bit cautious of like what we actually want, right? So what am I going to personally do? This is obviously this is not financial advice. You have to do whatever you feel comfortable with. If you have some money and you can kind of gamble with this, then definitely go ahead and buy it. I mean, that's up to you, right? But you can still be a part of the cause, depending on what you're trying to get out of here, right? Whether you're trying to get money out of here or you're trying to stick it to the man. If you own physical silver, you're still pulling that inventory off of the COMEX, so you're still going to have some physical inventory. You're still donating to the cause. You're also investing in real money because, like I said, what we use is currency. Precious metals, silver and gold, are real money. Silver is also an industrial metal, so it's a lot of demand for that, right? Because silver is needed in a whole bunch of different industries, but especially technology, which is the wave right now, right? So you would be invested in an asset that is considered real money. It also can be used for industrial use, and you can see some great gains. I had an over 40% return on my silver last year. So I'm honestly like, let's get it. Raise that price up. I do expect there to be some level of volatility given that there's so much hype around this, but I do think that I would be leaning towards the side of physical silver. You will be paying more than spot price, which is, unfortunate, but it's in your possession. There's no counterparty risk, okay? When you're buying SLV, JP Morgan is a custodian. Like I said earlier, they're the ones kind of holding that silver, and they have been fined billions of dollars, maybe not billions, but like a lot of millions of dollars for all of their fraud. Do I want a fraudulent company holding the same thing that they got caught being frauds on? I don't think so. Like, I don't know about what you guys think, but for me, it's a no. It's a no for me, dog. So I will be buying more silver, not only because of the hype, but because I have been interested in it. That's the majority of my holdings because it is much cheaper than gold. Gold is expensive, so I do have that in my portfolio as well, but silver has been so affordable. I do think the price is going to be a little bit ugly right now, so I don't really know. We have seen silver go as high as around $50, so we are kind of close to that, that kind of level. If they open back up and we're like in the $30 range, so it's kind of like a high. It's kind of confusing. I honestly can't tell you guys specifically what to do, but I'll be buying more because I do truly believe in this. Would I kind of dibble dabble in the SLV? I don't know. I feel like these big dogs are definitely on their A game right now. They're definitely more aware because of what happened last week with GameStop. So I definitely think that we can proceed with caution. Of course, never invest your rent money, your food money, any of your bills. You don't want to be in the dark, right? You don't want to be sitting with no electricity, but you got some stock, right? So don't invest your last dollar into this. But if you have some money to play around with, then definitely, you can consider it. I personally don't believe it's a gamble if you're buying physical silver because it is a way to preserve your wealth. If I were to keep my money in a regular savings last year, I would have not seen anything near a 40% return. Okay, so it's preserving and actually growing my wealth having the physical. I'm not saying that you can't grow your wealth with the contracts, but I'm just personally not a big fan of intangible assets. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think this is all hype? Do you think that there's no way we can actually game the system again and take these billionaires, get these billionaires to run for their money quite literally? Let me know what you guys think. I want to hear from you. But that will do it. If you like this video, then please be sure to like this video and share it with your friends so we can all be investing gods out here, okay? And if you have nothing else going on, you know what to do. Go ahead and binge watch me. And until next time, keep your money up.